do you follow one of the most awarded and highly regarded international airport facilities of the last decade? At LAX, we drew from our past while clearly envisioning our future. 60 years ago, LAX announced to the world that the jet age was here. With the most modern terminals and a futuristic design, LAX embodied the golden age of air travel and became an icon of the aviation industry. Today, we are positioned once again to tell the world that a new age of travel is here, and it begins at LAX. With an automated people mover and fully modernized terminals on the way, LAX is leading a new jet age for the world. Inspired by the breaking waves of the Pacific Ocean, the West Gates at Tom Bradley International Terminal has risen from the airfield at Los Angeles International Airport to become the latest symbol of the reimagined LAX experience. This 15-gate, 750,000 square foot concourse elevates the LAX experience as the most technologically advanced facility of its kind in the country today. Filled with the latest technology, passenger amenities, and sustainable design, this newest addition to LAX, the West Gates at Tom Bradley International Terminal, sets a new bar for international airports and is one more way in which we are fulfilling our mission to serve the world, connecting people, places, and cultures.
Well, good morning, everybody. It's an exciting day. It's okay, we haven't been together. We don't know how to socialize anymore, but it's really great to be with everybody here. And first and foremost, I want to welcome our passengers who I actually saw in the flesh. This is my 5th or 6th visit here, but to see it with passengers is a totally different experience. It makes it real in a way that I think we all pictured in our minds, but now can actually see manifest. There's so many folks to thank today, and this is a big day in a big city that's building out a big new infrastructure. We have, for the last 8 years, been from transit to the port, from the airport to our roads, been building a new city, and this airport reflects that. This is one of the crown jewels of that effort, a $1.73 billion state-of-the-art facility with a capacity for 12 to 15 aircraft, a place to bring comfort and convenience and welcoming to folks that are coming back home, to people who are visiting for the first time, and an even higher level of service for both international and domestic travelers using the Tom Bradley Terminal through everything from biometric self-boarding technology to the cool roofing that we can see on top of this. But let me start with the thank yous, the folks that helped us get here. Councilmember Mike Bonin, who he's been a co-pilot of this vision of our airport. That's what he looks like behind the mask. A dear friend, a great leader, and I want to thank him. I want to thank John Lee, another great council member who has supported this, both in his city career and now as a council member as well. Councilmember Buscaino as well, whose team I know has been working very hard as chair of the committee. And I want to thank our Board of Airport Commissioners, who are just an extraordinary group of volunteers who spend their time. Sean Burton, our president, Bishu, Val Velasco. Is Gabby here? I didn't see Gabby. He missed an opening? Australia, interesting. He's the only man who can make it into Australia, apparently. Nick Roxborough, Cynthia Teas, and Kareem Webb. Let's give them a round of applause and thank them for their great work. And I want to thank the entire LAWA team, which has really been an extraordinary group of folks, from the officers who I get to interact with whenever I come to the airport, all the way up to the CEO, to the men and women who work this airport. They make LAWA work. And I want to thank you, Justin Erbacci, for your great leadership and your incredible team, and give a shout out to Debbie Flint, who also started this effort as well. And I want to thank our city departments who made this happen. Osama Yunin is here as well. Where did Osama go to? He's back here from the Building and Safety. We try to continue to make building an easier undertaking here in Los Angeles, and I know when we can do that across 2 departments, it's a great, great day. And I want to thank Ron Miller as well, who announced he is going to be stepping down from as the head of Los Angeles and Orange County Building and Construction Trades Council, but he has been an amazing friend, a fighter for good jobs, a part of the partnership that we've had to go to the voters again and again and again to do these things, or to defend our victories on the ballot box, to make sure that we have training programs. You represent the men and women. We come here to celebrate this, but I stop by and talk to so many of them. This isn't built by just abstract renderings. This is built by men and women who come here every single day. So thank you, Ron, on behalf of the city as well, and all the workers who built the West Gates as well. And then to our federal partners too, our Transportation Security Administration, FAA, and the Customs and Border Protection, who are such an integral part of the operations here. And our partners, of course, from the from the airlines, who we wouldn't be here without. The airlines who are serving this new facility. And make no mistake, this is the newest and best facility we have, period. So for folks who wonder, this is smoother, better, newer, shinier. You can smell that new car smell still here. And together with LA Tourism, we're investing in bringing people back here. If you're vaccinated anywhere in the world, come to LA. You can come without a quarantine. So Gabby can come back, not quarantined. People who are vaccinated can come back, and people who have never visited before. This is the time to come to LA, and we're spending money to do that. And I want to thank LAX concessions owners and operators, which we're kind of feathering in as the traffic builds up here, and Hire LAX, which is our extraordinary apprenticeship program. I've talked with a lot of those folks whose lives have changed because they got a second or a third or a fourth chance, and they got to build this, and to be able to tell their children one day that mom or dad put this building on this, or in this airport. I also want to thank all the folks, I don't know which camera is the live one for Zoom, but who are joining us from the communities surrounding LAX, and soon we'll all be able to be together capacity-wise. But thank the community, LAX Coastal Chamber, the Playa Venice Rotary, Westchester Neighborhood Council, and of course the Alliance for Regional Solution to Airport Congestion, known as RSAC. But we thank you all, and I'm sure that Councilmember Bonin, with his great vision for the community as well as for this airport, will say some words on that too. So this is just one slice of $15 billion that we're spending here at the airport. We've built or renovated 10 terminals and concourses, and as people come back, I'm sure you've all had this experience too, people are saying, wow, I can't believe how good LAX looks. The people mover coming up, the gates, the facades, the entire place. We've essentially built a new airport while we were running one of the busiest airports in the world. A people mover that allow you to get here without a car and help the community. A huge improvement in your traveling experience, which is something that I asked our leadership here at the airport to really focus on, that customer. And a great job creator. 121,000 new jobs created here every single year. See, that's what infrastructure is. It's not about the billions of dollars, it's not about the miles of roads, it's not about the number of passengers, it's about the people and the experiences. It's about the resilience that we can build coming out of this painful and traumatic year. It's the glue that holds us together, it helps us fall in love, helps us find a job that moves us and that we're passionate about. And that's how we're going to recover from this pandemic, by looking at infrastructure. And I said a long time ago when we passed some of the largest pieces of infrastructure, that when the economy is good or the economy is bad, this will keep LA moving, keep LA going. Whether it was at the beginning of the pandemic when we said construction workers could stay on the job with protocols, and we kept those jobs going while other regions of the country shut down construction, or the case I made 2 weeks ago with Speaker Pelosi and fellow mayors calling on Congress to pass an infrastructure plan now. It's time to pass the American Jobs Plan. The American Jobs Plan will help us not only do things like this, but will have competitiveness for our country for decades to come. You see, LA is a model. We're not just a great city that we love. We're a model and an inspiration for the rest of the country and for the world of how we can build green infrastructure, how we can deal with things like racial equity while we are creating jobs. From the $120 billion that are approved in the next 40 years under Measure M, which Mike Bonin, one of our Metro directors, and I campaigned so hard for, to the work here at LAX, now the largest construction program in the country of any airport. We're deepening Angelino's connections to each other and to the world. And this is also our gateway. You know, you can see how far we still have to go with COVID. Our domestic terminals are gangbusters as I was driving by them, but you look behind you and you see the empty gates internationally. And we have to do our part, whether it's on vaccine equity or making sure that around the world we can have the same recovery we're starting to experience here, so that we can connect LA with the world and the world to LA again. This first glimpse that people have of our city when they arrive, how we'll greet visitors when they come here for the 2028 Olympic and Paralympic Games, this is why this is not just a building, this is our calling card to the world. And the more than 8,500 workers who made this happen More than 2,500 of them live in and around LAX. It's one of the highest percentages, if not the highest percentage, of any project I've ever seen. So that local hire, that second chance hire that we've done, that targeted local hire, that training that we did with the community colleges, it's life-changing. And we're creating a pipeline, so hopefully the projects we have coming, these folks that got to work here can go over to Terminal 0, or whatever we're calling it now, 9, the cargo facility, the other things. Names change so often. Even this artist has had its name changed 2 or 3 times, this building. So we're able in this project to hire 36 Hire LAX graduates working on the West Gates, that's what it's called now, and the most apprentices on a project here at LAX so far. And I know we want to connect these 2 buildings, so we call this the West Gates of Tom Bradley. But make no mistake, each one of those terminals that we've been renovating or building anew is the size of a small to medium-sized American airport. When you think about that, that's like building 10 airports here at LAX. And we know that the people will bring a ripple effect in their communities. Benefits today and tomorrow in the quality of life, a middle-class job. Their children will be able to go to college, they'll be able to buy homes. And as I announced last month in my State of the City address, we've been proposing 3 more, and we have proposed 3 more terminals. Brand new Concourse 0, Terminal 9, and a new state-of-the-art cargo facility, which I think will finish the job here. It's how we're going to keep airport traffic out of our communities, keep up with a surge in demand for travel and shipping. And certainly for air cargo, we see how important LAX was as a lifeline during this pandemic and how important it can be in the future. And when we see that surge, we'll see a return before the pandemic when we were the 3rd busiest airport in the world. And Justin's timing was impeccable because he came at the nadir of airport travel. So like 2 months later, it had doubled already under his watch from 10 to 20%. Now it's like 5-fold. So you've been very, very smart about when you came on to lead this airport. It's unprecedented growth. But I am confident that we can reach that destination. This city has the grit, the heart, the creativity, and the conscience that you see here. And we are the entertainment capital of the world. You'll have no experience like arriving here and feeling LA when you're here at the West Gates. So with that, let me now turn it over to Councilmember Mike Bonin, not only the council member of this district, but if I've had a passionate co-leader in infrastructure every step of the way, it's been Mike Bonin. And I know how tough this year has been for everybody in leadership, but I couldn't draw from scratch somebody I'm prouder to serve alongside with, whose experience here stretches through many elected officials until he was at the helm, and it's really a reflection of his vision today. Please welcome Mike Bonin.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. This is the first time in 14 months I have worn a suit. And I'm glad I'm behind a podium because I realized I forgot to wear a belt this morning. I'm still a little rusty. Thank you, Mayor Garcetti, for the introduction, and thank you, Mayor Garcetti, for the vision. We spent a lot of time together pre-pandemic with Sean Burton and with members of the commission and with members of the airport staff, going to a lot of groundbreakings. And now that the pandemic is over, we are going to be going to a lot of grand openings. This is the reopening of Los Angeles. This is the reopening of LAX, and this is sort of a preview of the future of Los Angeles. When Mayor Garcetti and I took office 7 or 8 years ago, we had a joint vision of how do you modernize this airport and make it a good neighbor. Bill Rosendahl used to say modernization, yes, expansion, no. What I have said is that we need an airport that is a world-class airport and a first-class neighbor. And because of the vision of Mayor Garcetti and because of the work of the airport staff and the vision of the airport commissioners, that is becoming a reality. And we will be able to see the fruits of that labor and the fruits of Mayor Garcetti and this commission's work for generations to come. This is very clearly, as you look at it, the sign of a world-class airport. A decade ago, you would have had a hard time imagining somebody saying something complimentary about their experience at LAX. You look at this, You see the look on the face of the passengers when they come out here, and you know that this is a new LAX, and you know that people now have an opportunity to appreciate their first or their last moments here at this airport. What is so vitally important, though, in being part of a first-class neighbor, is the experience of the people who live around this airport and the experience of the people who work at this airport. Thanks to Ron Miller and thanks to so many others, there have been so many jobs created through this project, and jobs that will be continued to be created through the people who will work here at good paying jobs, because the people of Los Angeles and the mayor and the city council and this commission insist that the people who work in and around this airport be paid damn well. The other way that this airport is a world-class airport that is a first-class neighbor is that this is LEED Silver. Here at LAX, we are leading the way and showing how you can be at the forefront of promoting the fight against climate change and how you can be a sustainable airport. And what is so very important to me is that the impact on the people who live around this airport, in the neighborhoods near here. And we have I think the best representative of airport neighbors with my friend Val Velasco, I believe the longest serving commissioner on the Board of Airport Commissions, who has been a voice for this neighborhood for so long. Having these gates means that we will have less noise and less disruption for the people who live in Westchester and Playa del Rey. It is a really, really big day. And the mayor referenced the American Jobs Plan. This is the kind of thing that the American Jobs Plan can create around the country. A project that does something essential for our infrastructure, that creates lots of jobs, and that promotes the environment. This is just the beginning of a lot more good stuff to come at LAX, and I look forward to seeing you, every 2 weeks or so for another opening? All right, and am I introducing, or are you?
No, there's a video, so come on back.
All right, cool.
From the moment they entered the tunnels connecting the Tom Bradley International Terminal to its west gates, passengers will be surrounded by high ceilings, advanced digital displays, and helpful conveyances. The unmistakable entry point welcomes passengers to a space inspired by a town square. As they ascend from the tunnel connector, passengers are oriented to their surroundings through breathtaking views of the LAX airfield as they enter a grand hall and multi-level atrium, complete with a signature stainless steel and glass chandelier overhead. When fully opened, a large concessions court will offer world-class shopping and dining, complete with a dining terrace and access to airline clubs. Gates are grouped into urban neighborhoods, which draw from the fabric of Los Angeles to create multifunctional spaces that include retail kiosks and cafes, work counters, children's play areas, and conversation pods. Amenities include workbenches, interactive displays, real-time flight information, and plenty of places to charge up. There are 2 nursing rooms, a pet relief area, rotating art installations and gallery spaces to showcase the best of LA's creativity. With an intuitive design, plenty of amenities, and world-class art, shopping, and dining, this facility will quickly become a passenger favorite.
All right, well, next we have representing the Board of Airport Commissioners, Sean Burton. I mentioned that he and his fellow commissioners, what an extraordinary job they've done presiding over this capital project, recruiting the right talent, and giving us the governance that we need. He's also just been nominated by the President of the United States to serve on our national region, I don't know, you know the name of it, Airport Commission, which means that he'll now have his 4th, 5th, and 6th favorite airports be in the Washington, Baltimore areas, after, of course, LAX, Van Nuys, and the Palmdale Airport. After that, we'll look at you always, though, being LAX first, even as you serve the nation. Congratulations. Please welcome Sean Burton.
Great, thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, Council members Bonin and Lee for being here, CEO Justin Erbacci. I just want to say a word about Justin Erbacci. We have the best airport CEO in the country working for us, and we were so lucky to have him during COVID for everything done. Let's give him a hand for everything he's done. And I do want to just take a moment and thank my fellow commissioners. They were recognized earlier, but Commissioner Val Velasco, Bishu, Kareem Webb, Nick Roxborough, Cynthia Tejas, and Gabriel Eshagan are not here, but they have worked tirelessly over the last 8 years. A lot of work happens outside of the board meetings, and they've done a wonderful job, and their dedication is second to none for the city. So please recognize them for the work that they've done. Nearly 5.5 years ago, in December of 2016, my fellow commissioners and I approved what would become the facility that we stand in here today. And this is a special moment for me because it was the first thing that we've approved as a board that's actually been built. We've renovated terminals, we've done a lot of other things, but this is the first thing where we went from the very beginning of design all the way to sitting in the building and seeing passengers here. And when I told that to Councilman Bonin this morning, he said, "Man, you're slow." But I will say that I'm really, really proud of the team and what they've done. We got to do the first official groundbreaking in February of 17. And this was a very meaningful moment for me because that was the first major groundbreaking we've done as a commissioner, but it won't be the last. We have so much more that we're doing, as you heard from the mayor. Now, as I stand for you, in front of you here today, we are officially open for business. I think one night this week we had all of the gates here occupied, which is unbelievable. From design and approvals to construction to where we are today, this is a testament to the hard work of so many people who helped bring the West Gates at Tom Bradley International Terminal to life. At the time when we first approved this contract, it was the largest award in the history of the city, $1.7 billion for this terminal. And it's the first of many mega projects approved under Mayor Garcetti, which also allowed us to deliver positive mega economic impacts for our local communities. This was the first major development that LAWA did under our Small Business Enterprise program, resulting in delivering over $300 million to small businesses. As Mayor Garcetti mentioned, the West Gates at Tom Bradley also provided opportunities for our nationally recognized higher LAX apprenticeship readiness program, which placed the first of its apprentices on this project. One such apprentice, Wilbur Gonzalez, recently became the first higher LAX graduate to earn journeyman status after starting his journey at the West Gates here. So, I also want to thank, I saw Ron Miller here. I want to thank Ron Miller with the Los Angeles and Orange County Building and Construction Trades Council for your partnership and your support in this project, and for all of the work at LAX through our decades-long project labor agreement collaboration. These projects provide opportunities for so many in the local workforce, with a total of 1.88 million work hours and 112 million of wages and benefits. Creating opportunities for Angelenos is an integral part of the Los Angeles World Airport's focus on inclusion. As mentioned, we require that all capital projects meet or exceed a 30% local hire minimum during design and construction, and the Turner PCL joint venture exceeded these requirements and created many opportunities. That's been a priority for the mayor and for our board and for the staff, so it's terrific that it's happened. And this is just the beginning, the first major opening of our modernized airport. LAX is already LA's economic engine, and we are now transforming it into a shining jewel for the city. The new West Gates demonstrated that when we think boldly about our future, we can accomplish amazing things. Thank you to all who brought those gates to life and created this incredible facility. Thank you very much.
Technology and innovation are part of the DNA of LAX. With the West Gates at Tom Bradley International Terminal, we're taking things to a whole new level by creating one of the most technologically advanced airport facilities in the world. Interact with kiosks to access location-based wayfinding, find flight information, and search maps for points of interest. With enhanced 5G cellular service coming soon and advanced Wi-Fi 6 infrastructure here today, you will stay connected with fast and reliable service on the go. Every gate incorporates biometric and self-boarding technology, using facial recognition to securely verify passenger identity, enhance security, and speed up the boarding process. And LAX is now the first and only airport in the United States to enable automated bag storage and retrieval using 7 miles of smart conveyors, 16 robotic cranes, and radio frequency tags. For the first time, Passengers will be able to check in bags up to 24 hours before their flight through an early bag drop service. Innovation and technology are part of LAX's history and heritage, and now we're leading the world once again.
I know that was just in a video, but that's going to be really cool. It's going to be one of the most cutting-edge things in an airport. It's going to be one of those wow factors that people will see and feel. And that has really been led by our CEO. And when the position opened after the good work of Deborah Flint, usually you go on a worldwide search. But this was an easy decision. My airport commissioners all said, it's a no-brainer. This is the guy who's been behind the scenes, pushing this, doing this work, leading this work. And we're so pleased that Justin answered the call, decided to be elevated, and has become an extraordinary CEO himself. Please welcome Justin Erbacci.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Mayor Garcetti, Councilmember Bonin, President Burton, all commissioners, and Rory Dijon for being here today to share this really tremendous occasion. Thanks also to all who have joined us in person for this celebration, including Councilmember Lee, our friends from Federal Aviation Administration, Transportation and Security Administration, Customs and Border Protection. And thank you to all of our community members and partners who are watching online and have joined us via Zoom. Today we celebrate yet another milestone in the transformation of LAX. This last year has been among the most challenging in LAX's nearly 93-year history. And weathering this unprecedented storm has taken the collective efforts of our city's leaders, our Board of Airport Commissioners, our partners, and our LAWA team. I'm incredibly proud of the work that our LAWA employees have put in over the last year to keep our employees healthy and help our guests travel safely. Their efforts have set us up for an even stronger, brighter future. Next month will mark 60 years since the 1961 dedication of new jet-age terminals and our iconic theme building, which signaled to the world that LAX was ahead of its time. We transformed again in 1984 for the Summer Olympics, creating our elevated roadway in the Tom Bradley International Terminal. In 1996, we built a state-of-the-art air traffic control tower, and in 2013, we completed the renovation and expansion of the Tom Bradley International Terminal. That year, 2013, was another pivotal inflection for LAX as we gained new leadership with the election of Mayor Garcetti and the appointment of Board President Burton and several of our commissioners. Under their leadership and with the strong support of our board members, Councilmembers Bonin and Buscaino, we have charted the most ambitious course in our history, creating a vision for a reimagined, world-class LAX with global connectivity, state-of-the-art facilities, and an unrivaled passenger experience. Since that time, LAWA has effectively and safely drove passenger growth at LAX by 32%, from 66 million in 2013 to 88 million in 2019, making LAX the third busiest airport in the world. We increased our cargo at LAX from 1.9 million tons in 2013 to 2.3 million tons in 2019, making LAX the 10th largest in world cargo volume. We increased aviation revenues 67%, from $600 million to over $1 billion. And we increased concession revenue 53%, from $329 million to over $500 million. This mayor and this board awarded contracts of over $16.3 billion that have created jobs and fueled businesses here in LAX, at Los Angeles. LAWA developed and started implementation of an ambitious sustainability action plan, boldly moving to zero emissions and 100% use of renewable energy by 2045. And we improved the relationship with the community members to ensure that LAWA is a first-class neighbor. Today, we are repeating history as we deliver the first of many elements of our $14.5 billion promise for a better LAX. These beautifully, technologically advanced west gates that were designed and built to make the passenger journey more efficient and more comfortable. In the next months, we also will be opening Terminal 1.5, the Intermodal Transportation Facility West, and the airport facility. And in just a couple of years, we will revolutionize how people get to, from, and around the airport with our automated people mover train and our consolidated rental car facility. And we will deliver new and revitalized terminals, providing even more world-class facilities for our guests. All of this signals the beginning of a new jet age experience, which once again begins here at LAX. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and all of our special guests. I can't wait for more of our community and passengers to see and use this beautiful new facility, as well as all the other wonderful things we will be delivering in the next few years as part of our reimagined LAX. Thank you.
The West Gates at Tom Bradley International Terminal is more than just a state-of-the-art facility. It's an architectural love note to its home in Los Angeles. With a roof that emulates an ocean swell, the 5-level, 1,700-foot-long building carefully balances strong mid-century simplicity with the dynamic ocean theme of the nearby Tom Bradley International Terminal's iconic breaking wave roof. This building was designed from the inside out with sustainability in mind. Inside, there's a bright concourse with bright natural light, inviting in the California sun and reducing the need for electricity. As you enter the concourse, a dazzling LED chandelier hangs overhead and extends more than 2 stories tall. With features including LED lighting, water-saving plumbing fixtures, and a cool roof, the concourse is built to achieve or exceed LEED Silver and Cal Green Tier 1 certifications, using 29% less energy and 41% less water than conventional designs, and was built using 20% recycled content. Los Angeles World Airports has a bold agenda to achieve zero carbon emissions by 2045. And this new facility is another leap forward in creating the sustainable airport of the future.
As you can see, it's visionary architects and engineers and a construction partner who made this come to reality. And I want to thank Roy DeJean, who's our Senior Vice President of Turner Construction Company, for not only meeting but exceeding many of our goals and being able to always be, when I see Turner on a project, synonymous with the quality that we demand and that this city deserves. So thank you for being here. And Roy, come on forward.
Good morning. Welcome to what was my second home for 4 years. Hope you enjoy it as much as we enjoyed building it. Thank you to the commissioners, thank you to the board, and thank you, Mr. Mayor. On behalf of Turner PCL, which was the joint venture, along with Corrigan and Gensler, who are our design partners, there's a few people that I wanted to personally thank that were really part of the team that I worked with. Kathy Orchiella, Jeff Williams, Chris Weber, Brent Kelly, and Keith Thompson. Those are the people that I worked with daily to make this a success. From the very beginning, our involvement, we understood the importance of the project. At the time that we were signing this contract, not only was it a large contract for Turner PCL, It was the largest single contract signed in the city of Los Angeles. So we knew that everyone was paying attention to this job. One of the achievements, as has been said already, was the hiring of people from the community. 86 community sponsorships and 37 hire LAX, which at the time was 3 times any of the projects going on the airport. We're very proud of that fact. We worked closely with the unions, we worked closely with LAX, and the people that ran the field for us really put their heart and souls into making sure that this community had every opportunity possible. The completion of this terminal represents one important milestone for the city of Los Angeles and the entire region. More than a year of unprecedented challenges, specifically the pandemic, and the opening of the terminal signals that Los Angeles is prepared for welcoming visitors and open for business. The pandemic played a particularly difficult role for us. 2 weeks before the pandemic starts, this building previously was landside, very easy to come in and out of. 2 weeks before, this building went airside. The amount of work that it took to get 1,200 workers, average on the daily basis, into this site was enormous. And I have to say thank you to the city, thank you to the board, thank you to all the LAX people for making something that almost was impossible possible. Airports connect people to each other, and they connect people to place. This terminal is so much more than a transfer point from one place to another. The new terminal will play an important role to support economic growth for the city of Los Angeles. It's going to serve as a gateway to a point of connection for the city and for the members of the community. As the first and last place that people will see, whether they are leaving LA or entering the United States for the first time, it so well reflects the vibrancy and diversity of the great city of Los Angeles. With the community in mind, sustainability and efficient features can be found throughout the terminal, specifically with their conservation of energy and water, as you've heard before. The modern terminal includes the latest of technology and will serve as a wonderful entryway for passengers visiting, living, and working in this region. The construction of the terminal during ongoing operations posed challenges that required above average amount of planning and coordination. As you look to the other terminal across the way, there are 2 fully functional tunnels that connect. That active runway never shut down. Modified a little bit at times, but it never shut down. So with 747s going by a 40-foot deep trench, it gets a little bit nerving at times, but it was a true challenge. It's therefore been such an incredibly rewarding experience to partner with our client, design professionals, 8,500 trade workers, members of the community, and project stakeholders to complete this world-class facility. On behalf of the joint venture and our design partners, I want to thank you, and I want to say how much we appreciate the cooperation and collaboration everyone gave us during this exciting project. Welcome to the new terminal.
Well, we'll close out our program today by officially opening the West Gates. And one of the most exciting features of this facility is its state-of-the-art ramp tower, which looks like, a main control tower of any normal airport. This is a supplemental one, which for the first time in the airport's history is controlled by LAX operations, which is really exciting as well. Meaning the incredibly skilled aircraft controllers who shepherd planes in and out of the gates are employees of our city rather than the FAA, and we appreciate the work the FAA does every single day out of our main tower. So let me turn it over to our ramp tower controller on duty, Carrie Buchanan, to declare the West Gates and Tom Bradley Terminal, International Terminal, fully open for business and ready to serve LAX, ready to serve our great city of Angels, and ready to welcome the future. Carrie?
Thank you, Mayor Garcetti. On behalf of the airport operations team here at Los Angeles International Airport, we now show all West Gates at Tom Bradley open for aircraft activity. Congratulations to you, Mr. Mayor, the LAX family, and the city of Los Angeles.
All right. Thank you, Carrie. Thank you to everybody on Zoom. Thank you to the community. Thank you again to Councilmember Lee for being with us as well. And enjoy the newest jewel here in the City of Angels. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.